Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Well, he's the leader who describes himself as a very stable genius. But yesterday, Donald Trump admitted he'd made a mistake. His rare admission of error was prompted by the backlash against his summit with Vladimir Putin, after which he was accused of disgraceful and shameful behavior by members of his own party. The president said he misspoke when he said he couldn't see why Russia would have interfered in the US election. He said he meant to say wouldn't. Sky's Cordelia Lynch reports from Winchester in Virginia, where voters told her they back their president despite the row.
And we start.
With a script in hand, Donald Trump tries to limit the damage of his off-the-cuff comments in Helsinki. But soon, a fitting flash of the unpredictable.
I have a full faith in our intelligence agencies. Whoops, they just turned off the light. That must be the intelligence agencies.
Once back on message, he tried to clarify his comments on Russian meddling. Yesterday, clear in his support of Vladimir Putin.
He just said it's not Russia. I will say this, I don't see any reason why it would be.
Today, he tried to walk back his words. Well, one word, to be precise.
The sentence should have been, I don't see any reason why I wouldn't, or why it wouldn't be Russia.
Suspicion of Moscow is etched in America's political landscape. Washington wanted to see a president at the driving seat, but many thought he was Putin's passenger.
Donald Trump's meetings and moves around the world in the past few weeks have been met with a mixture of surprise, indignation and some nervousness. But drive just a couple of hours outside of the political bubble and it all sounds a lot less black and white.
Rancher Don Warlock believes Trump is helping to reduce risk, not build it.
I think it's a great thing. You know, it's just like out here in the country. If you got a problem with your neighbor, what's the best thing to do? Sit down and talk. You're not going to give the farm away. You may not solve nothing, but it's better than throwing rocks at each other.
In Winchester, Virginia, there's a relaxed attitude. Many battles in the American Civil War were fought on these streets. George Washington won election in this building, and some are suspicious about claims of Russian interference.
I'm thinking, you know, that could be just a rumor started, you know.
A rumor? You think that the meddling is a rumor?
Yeah, I would say, because the United States is going to pretty well protect herself. I mean, they're not going to let that happen so easy.
Will what he does or doesn't do with Russia influence your vote?
No, not at all. Yeah. Not at all. I mean, you know, what can we do other than avoid a war? There's not too much more we can do about it.
The president's performance may have shaken the faith of some politicians, but here the picture is far less bleak, and voters seem willing to see America play a new kind of politics. Cordelia Lynch, Sky News, Winchester, Virginia.
Well, she believes that citizens with guns are the backbone of a country, but she's not a spy. That's the message from an associate of Maria Butina, the Russian arrested in America on the eve of the Helsinki summit. She's been charged with being a Russian agent, with the extent of her ties to senior figures in the American gun lobby now becoming clear. Sky's David Bowden reports from Moscow.
She's the gun-toting postgraduate student now in an American jail, facing charges of being a Russian agent. Maria Butina, who's 29, is accused of exploiting her personal relationships with influential people in the US to advance the interests of Russia without declaring it to the authorities. There's no doubt she has powerful friends. Here she is with former MP and now deputy head of Russia's central bank, Alexandra Torshin. Maria Butina was arrested in Washington on the eve of Donald Trump's summit with Vladimir Putin in Helsinki. In Russia, she founded a group campaigning for the right to bear arms, which has links to the Trump-supporting National Rifle Association in the US. This is Miss Butina with the former NRA president, David Keane. And long before he was Donald Trump's national security advisor, John Bolton addressed her gun campaign group.
Should the Russian people have the right to bear arms? I can share with you a word about what this particular freedom has meant to Americans and offer you encouragement as you consider embracing that freedom.
The man who heads Butina's Right to Bear Arms movement in Russia now, Igor Shmelev, spoke to his friend Maria, or Masha as he calls her, just a few weeks ago. Speaking to me from Russia's Far East, 4,000 miles away from Moscow, in Sakhalin, Shmelev gave his ally a character reference.
Maria is a very sociable person. She makes friends easily, but I can't say if she had any political activities in the US. I won't lie about it. She's smart, intelligent, she's a leader, but one of her main rules was always to abide by the law, and she's never advocated breaking the law during her activities in Russia.
Sergei Markov spent 4 years in the Russian parliament and was an aide to Vladimir Putin. He knows Maria Butina and says the Americans have made an embarrassing mistake detaining her.
She for sure tried to protect Russian interests, and she believes, as millions of other people, that better relationship between Russia and United States is better than was relation between Russia and United States. And to be arrested for this, it means that to be arrested for the opinion. You know, American terrorist community work like Stalin's gulag. Hope they will not kill her.
Whether a 29-year-old student was working as a Russian agent is now for the courts to decide. But relations between Moscow and Washington are still a long way from good. David Bowden, Sky News in Moscow.